had to drive her car.
Right.
And she's only allowed to drive so many hours per day. And so Tyler was like, well, I don't have a job yet, so I might as well. So that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
So he's just sticking around there for a little bit. He'll be back here in a couple weeks.
Yeah. He figured, I told him, I said, you know, if you're ever going to do something like that, now's the perfect time to do it, because he's got no, you know, no responsibilities per se. He's got no kids as far as we know.
Or he knows.
Or he knows. He does have a cat, which is in our home right now. He's here.
Right. I
Which is
thought he
fun.
had a cat.
Yeah, and he's a lot of fun actually to have around. So why not? You go out there and hang out in California. I want him to experience how expensive California is to live in.
Yeah, then he'll come on back.
Going back to Ohio. Yeah. So, all right. Well, good deal. So we are
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
a few minutes past. I hit recording. And so we want to hit tonight real quick, guys, is
Well, the elite call first.
the elite call was discussed. Cat just ran by like crazy. So there's been a lot of discussion, as you guys know, about training. As you know, LVAs, what do we do with LVAs? Then we get the mastery training, which, as you guys all know, we absolutely love. And then we have things are more virtual now because we can't have the face-to-face stuff until, but by the way, we're still on for convention, but the Elite Academy Summer was canceled. So then they start talking about the system. So you guys have been around for a while. You've heard about the proven plan system that has been in place as long as we've been members of the company. So there's always been the discussion of what's the best way to simplify what we do. And that simplification comes with, what do you do with a brand new person? The person that's been in for a day. It could be a person that's been in for a month or 6 months or 5 years. It doesn't matter. So we had an elite call last week, right? It was last week.
Yeah. So it was last Wednesday, and basically corporate has different committees now for different things. And one of the committees that they had was a kind of system committee. You know, our system was always in the past, it was Premier School, Elite Academy Convention, 15 presentations a month, you know, and the pro audio. Well, you know, it's kind of evolved a little bit. We don't have Premier School anymore. We don't really have pro audios anymore. That was part of the system. So they have a system committee. So what the elite call was basically mostly about was one part of the system is ready to be shared with people. And the whole system will be shared at convention in October, but they wanted to at least get this one piece out.
Right.
And it's the launch guide.
And it's called the launch guide. So it's, you guys are going to see some similarities to things that we've talked about on our team calls. We've talked about different things about what to do next, but this guide, so this guide has gone through Pro 10 compliance. It's gone through a lot of different scrutiny to come up with how can we put on one piece of paper. And again, you got to realize that on one piece of paper, you only have so much real estate. So they're trying to make it as simple as possible. And this is what they came up with. I think Ann's just messing around with muting people, which is fine. So let me share my screen. And this is basically going to be a launch guide that we're all going to use to start the new person. Let me get on here. Let me go to the launch guide.
So basically, we knew we didn't need to do a separate call because the launch guide was going to be going live as of, I think, well, they had said, like, was it today? Everybody should have gotten it emailed, I think.
So here's what's most important to understand about this guide. A lot of this information, for all of you that have been around for a while, you get it, you understand it, but how do you start out the person that just joined? We had a lot of people on the team come in last month because, you know, you can enroll for basically free other than, of course, putting together your subscription. So what do you do with that new person that just comes in? So this is the launch guide that's actually gone through compliance, and everybody agrees that this is the simplest way to start off a new person. And if you follow this, and Brandon Cunningham really took the reins on this thing, which, by the way, Brandon's doing the 9 o'clock tonight call or opportunity meeting. So we're not going to go long because I want to make sure you guys get on Brandon's call. And if there's anybody, of course, that you can get on Brandon's call tonight for his opportunity meeting,
9 o'clock Eastern time.
9 o'clock Eastern time. He's definitely one of our favorite. He's not our direct upline, but we're pretty close with Brandon's system. Okay, so first thing you do, this is something that you introduce to somebody on the first day. So you could take a person through this launch guide. You start out saying, here's the LifeVantage website, lifevantage.com. Here's the virtual back office. They could literally type this information into their computer and type into their distributor number, and they can access their website. And you want to do this with a person right away so that they understand this is how I access my business, how I can bring somebody into the business, whether it's a customer or distributor. So you want to walk this through with your person. You don't have to meet in person. You don't have to fly down and meet with somebody. You can do all of this online. You have customer support. There's the number. Again, this sheet's available. So you got the number or you got the support email. Now you can also text that number. And we were just talking to George a minute ago about you can text this number and they'll respond pretty quickly as far as if you
Or
have a
you can
question.
email them at support@lifevantage.com.
And then we've talked about many times on our team calls, you got to join the official LifeVantage distributor group page because there's a lot of information on that. And I know Kent's probably laughing right now because he's Facebook thing. He's like me. He's struggling with the whole virtual stuff. But get on that page because you don't have to be a Facebook freak and be on it 24/7, but you could check your Facebook page, every day when you get home. And there'll be information on there for you. You got the monthly marketing playbook. There it is right there, lifevantage.com, US playbook. That's where you have your repeats of the meetings like tonight with Brandon Cunningham. The Saturday trainings are going to be on there. There's blogs on there. That stuff is really awesome. And I'd really suggest diving into that. And here's the key, not just everybody that's on this call, but introducing your new people to this information. Because even if you're not on it that often, you want your brand new team member to definitely be on it and start out faster than we all did. Then you got the app, the LifeVantage app and the LV Pay app. Ann knows more about the LifeVantage app, but probably in the LV Pay app. So what can you share on that?
No, I don't.
So,
Just the LV Pay is the hyper wallet, so being able to go into your back office and having them sign up and do whatever they need to put in for the LV hyper
how they get
wallet,
paid.
because that's going to be how they get paid. Then your LifeVantage app, a lot of, people especially who are younger will want to be getting more on the app versus other things. So, by letting them know we have a LifeVantage app, is something that they'll need to be.
They definitely want to download the app. I mean, I have the app, but I get alerts constantly on what's going on. I mean, I get alerts from the app. So get on that and make sure that you introduce your new person to that. Over to the right, you got your support team. So you want to introduce that. You want to put down at least, this is a conversation with your brand new distributor. Who are your support team? Who do you want to have as the upline? It's going to be you. It's going to be
so you want your name and your phone number on there for them.
And then possibly us, or if you don't like us, it's somebody else, but definitely have a couple of names that your new person can reach out to in case they can't reach you. They could jump out to us, or if they don't like you, they can reach out to us, or if they don't like us. It's all a matter of making sure that your new person understands there's a team and it's not just one person. So make sure you share that information. Team Facebook groups. So for us, we're not big Facebook group member. We don't have a specific group for Ann and I, but we have Team 212, which is, of course, Skip and Jill.
The Team 212, so they have their regular Facebook group, the whole Team 212, then they have the product page, and then they have that distributor page. So you want to let them know about all of them. Yeah. Because those are pages, Facebook pages for our team.
Right.
So definitely write those down for them in that spot.
It's a good thing to write down. There are other groups within our team that have pages too. I mean, Brian Holly have a cool page. They like that thing. you're more than welcome to invite people to that, and we can share that if you're interested. So then under here, this block, you have this, basically it's a homework page, Sunday, Monday, all the way through Saturday. What's going to happen in the next 5 days? What are you going to do in the next 5 days? So if you just joined, and today is Tuesday, and if you just joined today on Tuesday, what are you going to do on Tuesday? You want to launch somebody immediately, and that would probably be what we're going to get to in a minute. We're not going to be real long. Probably writing down some names and reaching out to people.
Tuesday is the opportunity
Oh,
webinars.
there you go.
So Tuesdays are the opportunity webinars. So you show them how they get on that. Saturday is the, LV Success Mastery. So you write that down for Saturday. Any of the other days could be, you're writing down your list of names. You're going to, reach out to people, set appointments for any of those other days or whatever, but it's just a week worth of a calendar to give them things to be able to get on, watch, study, learn, do.
Right. The most important thing is to start off fast. If you let a week go by with a new person, it's going to be a struggle to actually get them involved a week later. I mean, truly. I mean, if you can launch a new person with this guide, which is the whole idea behind it, and you could actually enroll a customer, possibly a business partner, maybe a couple customers, I'm telling you guys, this will make a huge difference. Okay, so pan down, you got your success. So get focused, and this is always important, and this is really a key part, and this is for you as a leader to have this conversation with your new person. Get focused. So write down 3 reasons for joining LifeVantage, and this is important. What do you want and why do you want it? So have your new business partner write these things down, and this is so incredibly important.
This is the why that we always talk about, and so by you guys knowing what it is, their reasons for joining or why they want to get in, it allows you to still go back to them and say, hey, listen, remember how you wrote down that you really wanted to get out of your 9-to-5 job? You wrote that down on your on your why.
Or you wanted to buy a house, or you want to send your kid to college, and then at least they write this down, and that's important to them. And then 2 weeks later, when they're a little bit frustrated because they haven't signed up a customer, you could say, remember what your why was? Has that changed? It probably hasn't changed. You still want to buy that house. You still want to put your kid through college. You want to do these things. So don't sell yourself short as far as what your why was and what are you willing to do. Okay, so make sure that they jot that down. So get organized. You see, get organized, right? Your website. And this is something that Ann's really good at. She usually helps people, and you guys can do the same thing, how they get set up their website.
It's all about being able to change their name. So their website automatically is whatever they sign up to be a distributor with. So in Steve's case, it was Stephen M. Knock, and so that's what the website is. So we needed to change that so that it would be simple or something that they want to be able to direct people to. So this is step-by-step directions as to how to go into their website and change their website name. Perfect.
Right. So that's important. Make sure you help them do that, and if you help them do that, they'll know how to do it with the next person. That's called duplication, right?
Yeah.
So off to the right on the top there is get familiar.
The get familiar. So basically with that, this is where compliance, they had a hang up. So what they wanted to let people know, and this is where you can actually tell people in person, but it wasn't allowed to be in writing through compliance, because this is all about that 200 in PV, that you need to have 200 in PV in order to maximize the compensation plan, and at least 40 of that PV has to be your own personal purchase. So this get familiar is about going in and setting up that subscription. But compliance wise, we aren't allowed to say, go set your subscription for at least a minimum of 40, and you need 200 in order to maximize the comp plan. So that's what that part is about.
What it means. The company's trying to protect the company. We can't demand that people have 40. We can't demand that people have 100. Can't demand that people have 200. But we know a part of the comp plan, you can't get paid unless you have that. So have that conversation with somebody. Make sure you help them set up their subscription. And what this describes is be your first and best customer. And that's what it means, right? You want to be on the products. You want to be a product with the product. Okay, so get skills. Visit lifevantage.com. There's so much information on here, guys, that you can spend time with and you can walk your people through. Now, you don't want to spend your first 2 weeks with your brand new distributor walking them through all this stuff. They can do that on their own, but they want to make sure they sign up for, and they're on the Saturday trainings. They're on the Tuesday night at 9 o'clock webinars. They're signed up for Global Convention, which is still on, by the way. As of last Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever our elite call was, or Thursday, it's on. And I really do think it's going to be on in October. Right?
But you can show people too in their website how you go to events to be able to sign up, because they have to register obviously for Elite Academy and they have to register for convention. So your role is really trying to show them how they go about and sign up and register for those two events.
And make sure that you walk through this sheet. By the way, this is only 2 sides of a page. So it sounds like we're going really long on this, but that's all it is. So you want to make sure that you go through this yourself and you're familiar with it, and it's not difficult. But if you do these same steps on your own, you're able to duplicate that with a new person. And possibly you won't lose somebody that is in and they give up after 3 days because they can't figure it out. So walk them through these simple steps. And this launch guide has been put together, literally, they've been working on this for 8 months. They've gone through compliance. They've gone through the Pro 10 training. They've gone through a whole group of people that were strictly involved in putting this sheet together. So there's information in here. It may seem a little redundant, but it's super duper important. Okay, your pace. I'll let Ann talk about this pace. This is incredibly important to start fast.
Well, then why are you saying, okay, you'll let me talk about it?
Go ahead. And oh, by the way.
Pretty much. So this is basically when you're talking to your person, everybody has different goals. Some people are like, I just want to be able to cover the cost of my product each month. Other people are like, I want to retire from my job and I want to do it yesterday. Yeah. So your pace helps them set a realistic pace. So if they really are looking to be able to retire from their job, this helps you have that conversation. So, it starts off with the pace setter bonuses where, if they're getting in and, how you can hit Pro 2 and get $100 if you're doing it in the first 30 days, you maintain that, get another 100 and so forth, get into Pro 3. But I like these questions on the right. It's saying, show the distributor the earnings statement and saying, okay, looking at these monthly incomes, which one do you want? And what are you willing to do it? How much work are you willing to put in each week to get there? And how fast do you want to do it? Because if they say, well, I want to be able to retire and I want to do it in 3 months, that's not realistic. And so you have to go through, we all know that you have to put in the work before, you can retire. And it's a several year process for most people. So you're able to really have realistic conversations, but it's doable. So if they want to be able to, in a year, make Pro 5 money, well, okay, then this is what we're going to need to do. And this is how fast we're going to have to work. And, if they're saying, well, I can only put in 30 minutes a week, well, again, that's not going to cut it. That's not going to get them to their retirement money if they're only able to put in 30 minutes a week.
Right.
And that's that number 3 question. Realistic, how many hours per week can you commit to this? So these are conversations that you can have with a person, just heart to heart, what are you willing to do to get to where you want, and where do you want to be? And at what point do you want to be there?
Right. I know when I got in, I immediately saw Pro 5. Pro 7 seemed to be a stretch because that was the elite ranks, but we saw Pro 5 and I'm like, I'm going to get to Pro 5 in my first year. So what do I need to do to hit Pro 5 in my first year? And we put in the work. I will tell you, for a lot of people, they don't realize that when you struggle for a little while, everybody does. Everybody struggles for a while. It's all about the rinse and repeat system. So this sheet is rinse and repeat. We're going to show you in a second, we're going to write down 25 names. You need to rinse and repeat. So if you have not had success with the first 25 people, then you rinse and repeat. You do it again. And I can tell you that I've done it again and again and again. I have no idea how many people that we've brought into the business, how many people we've talked to. Doesn't matter. We all have our different way of doing this, but it's rinse and repeat. You have to do it again and again. Now listen, this system, you guys have heard us talk about this. So ironically, our ITT system that we've been talking about for over a year because I pirated that from Brandon Cunningham and I love it, is now it's actually the system now. It's actually part of the corporate system. ITT, Invite Tool Team. It's very simple, guys, but the key is you have to do it again and again and again, and you have to teach that to your team. So step one, invite. Start a conversation, find out very simply, and you guys have heard this 2 weeks ago, we talked about it, or last week. Are you open? Are you open to learning how to take control of your health? Are you open to take control of your life? Then ask, do you have a few minutes to check out a video? You guys have heard this before. It's very simple. You know, it's the abcyellowpill.com video. We still swear by it. And ironically, on this elite call, which is kind of interesting, you got all walks of life. I mean, you got a brand new Pro 10 and Rachel Jackson. You got Brandon Cunningham. You got Skip and Jill. And everybody seems to still go back to the ABC video. That's definitely the catch. Because it was done by ABC, it was a free video, and it's still the best thing in the world. So the company is going to come out with their own video as well by convention. It'll never be the ABC, but it's going to be another video. And a lot of you guys have seen the videos, and they're very good ones, but I still swear by the ABC. Tool, what you do, step 2, what did you like best about what you saw? I just sent this today to somebody. I said, what did you like best about what you saw when I sent them some information like 2 days ago? And are you open to learning a bit more? And then step 3 is, of course, the team leading them to some type of a call.
Well, the tool also then, after, are you open to learning a bit more? That's when you can get them on the Tuesday night opportunity webinar,
right,
or any of the other pre-recorded Tuesday night opportunity webinars. That's a good time to be using those webinars, the opportunity webinars.
And those opportunity webinars are taped every week, guys, and those are on that sheet. I had somebody ask me, how do I get to those? They're right here. Excuse me. They are in the playbook.
Right here.
So right here in the playbook, we talk about them every week. They're all in there. And as a leader, go into those things and make sure you understand how to get to that information so that you could share it with your team and invite them to check out the playbook as well. So the team validation is a 3-way call, whatever it is, but the person that is on your list up here, okay, is the person that can help answer those questions that your new person that you're bringing in, that you're inviting, okay? Very simple. ITT, okay, Invite Tool Team. We've talked about it many, many times. A couple little closing scripts. Go ahead and go through that and drink some water.
Well, this is just that closing part, remember with our blue book. And that's the other thing. So the blue book isn't in the starter kit anymore. There isn't, back in the day when a lot of us got in, we had that blue book. And that's not going to be, that hasn't been in our starter kits and isn't going to be, but this is going to be in the starter kit now. So part of that process, that blue book process, remember, was closing. And so here's a couple of the closing scripts. I do like, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being not at all and 10 ready to sign up, where do you see yourself? And do you see yourself wanting to be a customer, or would you want to be a distributor like me? Those are the 2 things. I like those 2. The first one, are you clear on what to do next? Do you need my recommendations?
You
can tweak things for however you want to do it, yourself.
I mean, at the end of the day, guys, you have to close. You have to ask the question. If you don't ask a question, you're not going to get an answer. If you beat around the bush and you're afraid to ask, you're not going to get an answer. You guys are all busy. Everybody's busy. You don't want to waste time. If somebody is, number one, you're starting out with your invite. If somebody's not interested, and are you open? Okay. And they're not open, then don't continue. And then when you get to the close, if they're not interested in scale 1 to 10, then don't waste your time. Keep moving, which leads you to your list. This is the same thing that you guys saw in our spreadsheet that we put together a month and a half ago. Okay, it's just on a single sheet right now, but you see there's a name, there's 25 names here. You got your invite, your tool, and your team. You're going right through the checklist. Did you do the invite? Did you do connect them with a tool? And did you connect them with the team? This is exactly what Ann and I went through weeks and weeks ago, and now it's part of the whole system. This is important to get with the person that you just enrolled and try to come up with a list of 25 people. And the other reason for this, guys, at the end of the day is, even if they're not going to do anything, if you have a list of names, maybe it's possible that you could also connect to their list, because they may not do anything, but there might be somebody in that 25 person list that's on their knees looking for this type of product or one of these products or some type of an opportunity. So don't sell yourself short on working with them on this list. If in the first night you can only get 5 on that list, fine, but go back to the homework page here and say, okay, today is Tuesday. By Thursday, I want to make sure that we have this list expanded to 25 people. That's not that difficult. And really what we want to reiterate with this list is, you know, this guide is really meant to help you and I to walk your new person through this.
Another thing that Rachel Jackson said, and I liked it when she talked about it. She said sometimes people will come back to her after a couple of months and say, I'm not getting anybody on my team. And she'll say to them, show me your list.
Show me your list.
Show me your list and show me how many check marks you have for that invite, that tool, that team. Did you get all those people to that third check mark of introducing them to a team member? And that's typically the problem with so many people, is that they're not doing this kind of a system. And so she wants to see people writing a name, checking off when they've invited, checking off when they sent a tool, and checking off when they've gotten the 3-way validation. And if she's not seeing those checks for 25 people, then she's able to say, this is why you haven't met your goal yet of where you wanted to be, because you haven't, completed this list. So it's just a good way for you to help mentor your person. Now let's get through. If you haven't finished the list, let's finish the list. If you haven't gotten all invites out, let's get all of the invites out. If you haven't gotten all of them to a tool, let's get them all to a tool.
Exactly.
Check off the boxes.
I've said it before, and I learned this from our peers. Systems don't fail. People fail systems. And you'll have people that'll join your team and say, well, it just didn't work for me. The system didn't work for me. The system works. It's the people that fail the system because they don't follow this. And I know it might be a little bit harsh to hear for some of us, because you're saying, have you done, like Ann just said, did you have 25 names to start with? And did you walk them through the system of ITT? And I'll bet 99% of the time not. It's typical. And I'll be the first to admit I've done it, where I've gotten them to the invite, but I haven't gotten them. Maybe I've gotten them to the tool, I've gotten them to the ABC, but I haven't gotten them into a team. And I'll be honest with you, for us, it's a little bit harder. I'll be completely honest with you. It's hard in our situation to bring somebody to a 3-way call, because we're elite. We've been here 9 years and we know about everything. So now I'm trying to bring somebody to a 3-way call. It's not easy, but it's incredibly important. And I talked to Brandon Cunningham about that. And I said, I really want to get your take on this. What do you do? You're a Master Pro 10. Do you bring somebody to a 3-way call? He goes, I at least still bring them to a connection, so that somebody else, there's another voice out there. So as Ann said, this is so important. 25 names. And if it hasn't happened, I'll bet they haven't done rinse and repeat. So as Ann just described, repeat this launch guide with a new list with 25 names during the first 90 days, and you'll hit Pro 3. You will. If you do this, and you do this system, and you do ITT, and you do that for 90 days, you'll hit Pro 3. I truly, truly, honestly, man, they've run studies already with the company, but you got to do it all. And you got to follow up and do all that stuff. Okay, memory jogger. This is kind of cool. This was in our original proven plan book that Mark Shinsato taught on every Saturday that, you know, if you go through this list, think of all the people you know. Look at this the business work, the different people that you know. I love this thing, ex-bosses in the middle. I should reach out to ex-bosses. People in your community, social network, health. If you go through this and you start jotting down names, and then you come to me and say, I don't know 25 people, truly, you and I both know that's not true. You can go to your phone and probably find 5,000 names. But this is just a simple memory jogger of people that you might know, whether it's a real estate agent you've dealt with, family. Family, we always say, is a tough one. Never hesitate to reach out to family, and a lot of times family becomes customers, but don't hesitate to reach out to successful people. Our best friends, Amy and Carl, were afraid to reach out to me because they thought I was already fine. I was already successful. I already was doing what I was doing. Well, lo and behold, I was, but I was open. And when they asked me if I was open, I said, absolutely. And they showed me the video, and, you know, the rest is history. They were afraid to reach out to me. I mean, Carl's like, Steve wouldn't want to do this. I mean, he's already fine. Yeah, I was fine, but I was working tons of hours. We had all this stuff going on. We had kids going, just approaching college. So, so that's the story, guys. Hopefully this helps.
Stop share.
Yeah, stop share. This is available. I can email it out, the sheet, but there's no rocket science behind it. Okay?
Well, it's getting emailed.
It is. Everybody has.
Has everybody gotten it yet?
Yeah, we can unmute.
Unmute everybody. If you haven't gotten it, it will be emailed out tomorrow.
Yeah, everybody should have it because it's gone through compliance now and they've tweaked it. But you should be able to, you can move that off to the side. Yeah, there you go. So the memory jogger is on the last page, and that's not as hot a thing, but they wanted to keep it down to just basically a piece of paper front and back so that you could walk this through your people. And it, you know, the important thing, guys, I got to say is that people have to be willing to do this as well.
What I like about this is that it really does allow you as a mentor to have something physical to go through with your brand new person. Right. You know, let's go through this. Let's talk about what these things are. You know, it gives a little bit of everything. So it's just a really nice, it really is a nice system. So that's just the one piece of the system. We're going to be hearing more at convention, but they wanted us to have our hands on this because this finally made it through compliance. And so everybody will be getting this emailed, and then eventually this will be in new starter kits.
Right. So if you have had a new person come into your business in the last 6 months, and if you haven't gone through any type of a system, and I know it's hard because we're trying to get people to get on the calls and things like this, call them up and say, you know what, I want to share something with you, and let's walk through this list. And if you can get them all the way down to the 25-person list, that's incredibly important, and I would start there. And if they're not willing to do that, then you're probably digging mud, and they probably don't want to do it, and that's okay. You love them where they're at, and you move on. And I can tell you that for years and years and years, I dug a lot of mud. I mean, I was constantly chasing people because I always think, well, we always wanted it more for people than they wanted. The people on these calls, you guys that are on these calls, you guys want to make this happen, and we want to do everything we can to help you do that. Find people like yourselves that want to do it, and it doesn't take a ton. It could be one person. You'd be shocked if you find one person that actually wants to do this with you, and it's fun.
You know, another thing to put on that calendar, which Steve and I actually forgot about, is our Monday night Zoom calls. You know, let them know about that as well. So you can put that in the calendar box for Mondays. You know, they're typically at 8 o'clock, you know, Eastern Standard Time. And like, you know, with, if there's a change, like Steve did, he texted everybody. And again, we don't text everybody, we text the people to share with their own team. So make sure you're sharing with your.
So if you have a team, and that's more than yourself, it's a one person, make sure you share no matter what, because we don't always hit everybody. So, and we want to deliver, we want to make sure that there's leadership with you guys. We don't want to just constantly be reaching out to people. If you enrolled somebody, you're a leader, and you should be responsible for that person.
This has been lengthy.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Any questions so far? So this is going to be emailed to you. I mean, we'll shoot it out. It's no big deal. Get familiar with it. Walk through this with yourselves. And if you haven't done this already, then do it. I'm going to. I mean, we already started, we knew about it last Wednesday, and I already started filling it out. And I said, you know what? This is very simple. I want to see if I have a 25-person list, and I do. And I want to walk through it, and have I taken them through ITT, and have I showed them the website? Have I done this? And if we haven't walked through all this with you guys, we'll apologize, you know, for as long as you've been part of our team and you don't know everything about everything. But you know what? It's all about just starting over and kicking things in the rear. The reason they did this was to try to make things simple. So take this list.
Simple system.
Simple system. Take the list and start over and get going. And if you got one new person, walk them through it starting tonight or tomorrow.
Right.
Get them on a call tonight at 9 o'clock with
Yeah,
Brandon.
we gotta get off.
Yeah. She's
It's
making me bail.
we're about to have the call here. So, all right. Any
Hopefully
questions?
that helps. Hopefully that helps.
Then we will chat with you again next Monday, and looking forward to getting
Always
on
great
this
seeing you
Tuesday call.
guys. Any questions, guys, just shoot us a text and we'll be happy to answer the questions. Meantime, we'll send this out. My voice just echoed. I don't know why. All right, guys.
All right. See you,
We will
everybody.
talk to you soon.
Thanks.